Hi, in this tutorial on PHP, we'll be looking at declaring and creating and using variables. So basically, if you haven't done any programming before, a variable is like kind of like a container that can store some information. So it can store things like numbers, or text, um, just different information, and it can be called on again later. So variables require a name or an identifier. They require a data type, and they require some data that they're going to store. So variables are a bit like in maths where you might say x equals 5. And then you can say I have x amount of cookies where x represents 5. And you could then say something like y equals 4 and I have x plus y amount of cookies which equals 9. So you can give variables names and they will represent something and they can store some sort of information like a number or a sentence or a name, something like that. So the first thing that you need to do is declare variables in PHP. So you have to give them a name. And then you need to assign a value. So to declare a variable, we can write the variable's name after a dollar sign. So we can say dollar sign, and say if we're going to create a variable to store someone's name in text, we could give it a name like name, and then an equal sign. So this is the variable's name here, dollar sign name, and we could say equals, and if it's a name, it's a text, then it's going to be a string data type, which we'll look at more in the next tutorial. We'll look at data types, but we put inside quotation marks, and we could put something like Batman. All right, so we've got name equals Batman. So when we create or declare a variable, we need to put a dollar sign at the front. Okay, we could do something like age as well. So we could say dollar sign age equals, and then we could say something like 20. Okay, and end that with a semicolon. So we are declaring the variable here, we're giving it a name, and then we're giving it a value. So on the left side of the equal sign is the name, and on the right side of the equal sign is the value that is stored inside this variable. Okay, the equal sign is called the assignment operator because we're assigning a value to this variable. Okay, now these are two different data types here. We have text, which is called a string. So a string can contain letters, it can contain numbers, and other characters you can find on your keyboard. And this here is an integer. So a number is an integer. An integer is a whole positive or negative number. So it could be a negative or a positive number, but it doesn't have any decimal places. We have lots of other data types that we can use in PHP. And we'll look at that in the next tutorial. Okay. To display a variable's value, we could put it in an echo statement. So we could say something like echo dollar sign name semicolon, and we could run this, refresh the page, and we get Batman there. So we've used an echo statement to print out or display that name there. And we could also say echo dollar sign age as well. Refresh, and then we get Batman 20. Okay, so we looked at string concatenation in the previous tutorial, so joining strings together. We can do the same thing here. We could put a variable's value inside an echo statement along with a string. We could join them together. So we could say something like echo hello, my name is space quotation mark, sorry, and close that quotation mark. And then we could separate the string here and the variable's value here with either a period or a comma. All right, and then we could print that out. All right, so we've got hello, my name is, a space there, and then we're adding the variable value at the end here. So save that and refresh, and we get hello, my name is Batman. Even though it doesn't have a capital B, it should. Fix that up there. All right. We could then add another comma here and then add another string inside quotation marks. We could say something like, hello, my name is Batman, and I am space, close the quotation, add another quotation mark to close that string, add a comma or a period, and then we can put in the age variable value there, another comma, and actually we might need a space before the end there. We'll add another space here, and we can say years old, and close that quotation mark. Now, Batman's more than 20 years old, but we could say, hello, my name is, with a space at the end there, so that's a string, and we can join it, we'll add this variable's value here, so we can add the name, another string there, and I am, the age value, so grab the value from that variable, and then years old. So we can save that, refresh, we get, hello, my name is Batman, and I am 20 years old. So what we've just done there is a bit of concatenation. So we've joined strings and variable values together to form a full sentence. All right. So rather than saying, hello, my name is Batman, and I am 20 years old, rather than hard coding that in there, we're grabbing values from other variables which we can change later on. So we could say something like age equals 30. We could change that, refresh it, and now it'll say that Batman is 30 years old. Okay, and we could change the name as well. So we're using the values from the variable. So that's basic concatenation. Don't have to use commas. You can use periods as well, or full stops, and that will also work. You can write in double quotes and not place commas before and after the variable names. So, for example, if this is in double quotes, I can actually get rid of these double quotes here. All right, so we could just have a double quote here to start the string and a double quote at the end to end the string. And we can have, hello, my name is $name, and I am $age years old. If I save and refresh that, it's exactly the same. So nothing's changed. It's displayed in exactly the same way. But if I change this string to be inside single quotation marks, and I save and refresh, it will treat $name and $age literally. So it'll treat it literally, and it will display, hello, my name is $name, and I am $age years old, which is not really what you want. Okay, so if you're going to do that, you need to make sure it's inside you need to make sure it's inside single quotation marks. The problem I find with doing it this way is that you don't get the syntax color highlighting. So these don't stand out that they are variables. So if I put this inside double quotation marks again, all right, that will work. So it will actually print out, will display the proper name and age there. But you can see in the code that it's the same color. The variables are the same color as the rest of the string, and it doesn't stand out. Unless you go into your code editor or IDE settings, and you might have some settings there that you can change so that it will actually, whenever it sees a $, it will recognize it as a variable name, and it will add some color highlighting there. So that's just something to be aware of. I think it's probably best to use quotation marks there and have something like that. So use quotation marks and separate with commas or periods. Okay, just like that. All right, so you can see that you get the different color there for those variables. All right, that's tutorial on variables, and in the next tutorial we'll be looking at data types. Thanks for watching.